Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So sorry this is so late. These final projects are really taking it out of me. Literally, I'm drinking Coke so much at the moment because I'm literally trying to stay awake as much as possible. But anyway, before we get into that, comment down below other university videos you want, as I'm giving my tips out. This is my final year. And give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not done so, run it for all my social media platforms, which will be down below in case you missed them, which are right here. And also follow my other YouTube channel, which I will be uploading hopefully tomorrow, fingers crossed. And let's get right into the video. So these are some tips I wish I knew my first year. Even though my sister went to uni, she didn't really give me tips. All she said to me was, it's going to be hell, but once it's over, it's going to be worth it. Which didn't really help. So I've written them down, because you know what I'm like, I often forget things. So this is like they do tell you, but they don't tell you until really you ask about grades. So the way it works is first year doesn't count as much as last year. So if you get, basically it's a 40 to pass in any essay. If not, you will have to retake it like next year, or either in May or something like there. But the first year doesn't count as much as the second and third year. Third year is the most important. You can't avoid to get probably anything in the 40s. You need to be going 50s and above if you want to get a first. If you want to get a degree, it's fine. That's actually what I'm aiming for. Literally don't care. Because, like, while the grades do benefit to your final one, they're not as important, so you don't need to spend every waking minute studying or doing books. It's good to do, as it's good practice for the second year, but don't stress too much if you're getting 40s or 45s, as it does not matter. It's a learning curve. You're learning to write in that method. Don't panic. I did that so much, only to then realise it didn't really matter as much as the other 2 years. It repairs our stress, which you don't need, especially when you're first year and you're dying already. The social shift is another one. As you may know, uni is probably the hardest place to make friends, because you're not going to probably make them in your classes unless you're really lucky and you have a really like clicky class that talks. Like, a lot of people in my class actually don't talk to each other, which is really weird for me. In secondary and college, everyone in my year group was so close, so for me this was very like weird, especially if you live off campus. It's incredibly hard, so you tend to only make friends in halls and stuff. You have to get used to, just because you talk to someone in a seminar or lecture doesn't mean they're going to ask you for your phone number, doesn't mean they're going to be friends with you, and that is fine. That's something you do have to deal with, and it's going to be hard in that, but just if they don't ask, maybe ask for it yourself, because you have to put yourself out there. But if they don't want to be friends with you, that's fine, because as you learn, because there's so many different ages and stuff, people aren't going to necessarily click with you. And also because, unlike all the others, uni isn't so much a social setting. It is more education, workload, and the workload is so massive that a lot of people tend to not want to make friends as much because of the workload and having to also work to pay for rent and everything as well. They don't have time to do like social stuff, so you're gonna find that a lot harder as well. So if you will find friends, there will be friends stuff, obviously they're not gonna like ignore you, but don't worry so much if every single person you meet doesn't want to be your friends, as that's not what happens at uni. So try to just make it more naturally and stop trying to pressure yourself to make every single friend in the first week, because you've got time. Trust me, you're there for 3 years. And you don't need to attend every single freshers sim. That is another thing as well. It's good to attend a couple, but try not to go to every single one, because skipping a night to rest, or even just to make sure you've got your classes set up, and that is actually better, because if you're going to freshers and you're more focused on the social then the academic, that can also be really bad as well. Because although, like I said, it doesn't count as much, it's better to get into a rhythm of being on top of your studies and sort of knowing stuff a bit better, because second year you're going to need it a lot more, because you will have to focus more on not getting 40s and everything else. So yeah. Okay, budgeting from day one. Even if you're commuting, although yes, you get sent money, it's not a lot. It depends on how much your parents work as well, and if you're living away, you've got to think about, are you going to eat lunch out? Are you going to eat lunch in? How much shopping are you going to get? Rent, clothes, if you do your washing, if you have a car, that sort of thing. Even when you're commuting, you've got to think about, okay, how much money am I going to put on my stuff? Am I going to buy a meal deal, or am I going to bring my own lunch in? Am I going to make a lunch and bring it in from home? How much rent do I have to pay to my mum and dad? If you drive up to uni, how much petrol? Like stuff like that. It's also very important when you have textbooks, there's a library there. The library's free. You can borrow that book and then send it back. If the library doesn't have it, yes, it's important to get textbooks. This is more of a second year thing. First year, you can get away with not doing the reading, but you probably shouldn't get into the habit, because second year they will expect you to be on. And in seminars, no matter what they say, they're always going to do the reading. I learnt that first week when I thought, oh, I don't want to do the reading. They're just lying and put it on there so we can do it for our essay. No! You're going to do the reading. You have to do the reading. Please do the reading. Honestly, I'm so glad I didn't write this year. But if you're going to do it, buy the books that have already been used. They're going to be cheaper. If you buy the books, brand new from Amazon, that's going to bring down your money a lot. Don't waste it on stuff you don't need. Like clothes, think beneficially, am I going to wear this again, or am I just wearing this for a night out? Like, think logically about it. But like I said, do use the library if necessary for those things, because they're there for a reason. But if you can't do it at the library and it's not there, then go second-hand store, because they will have the book. Might not be in good condition, but it will be cheaper, and in the long run, that's better. You are gonna have to work, even if you commute, even if you are living away, you're gonna have to work on top of that, and you need to think logically about your money, because it's not gonna last. Yeah, they give you money, but it's not a lot, and you need to be able to live off this. You can't just waste this on fun. This isn't like Christmas or birthday money or even pocket money. This is your only money you're going to get, so be careful with it. That is definitely something I wish I knew. So if you're living away, you should basically, this is just something, like, if you're living away from home, that I definitely would say, just to save money, you should definitely learn how to cook before you go, like get cookbooks, because my sister didn't do that, and she does all the takeaway, and that also went down the money as well. Don't do that. Just learn how to cook, even if it's just like put something in the air fryer or anything. Like, I know air fryers are expensive, but once you buy them, it honestly makes everything so much cheaper though. So generally do try and do that as well. Like, I just think logically about things if you're living away. If you are living away, this unfortunately won't be one of those videos, because I don't live away from home. I commute, so unfortunately. But if you do want a video about something, I could get my sister to do one. You can come on here and do other different experiences. That'd be quite a cool video. Comment down below if you want that. But yeah, definitely I would say cook and not do takeaway as much as well. Just like I said, like, it's basic thing. It's not going to take too long. Definitely do it before you go to uni, because it's harder to learn when you're having to buy the essentials yourself. But yeah, definitely that's something to make the money as well. I would also say, don't be afraid, like, if your mental health isn't as good. Like, generally, it's not a bad thing. You're going to have terms or even weeks when you're just like, ugh, I just don't want to get out of bed. And if it's a lecture, see if it's important to you. And if you need to miss it, you need to miss it. Email them. Your lecturers, you practically pay them to be there. They're going to listen to you. They're going to want you to pass everything. Like, talk to them and say, oh, I'm not feeling too well. My mental health is good. Homesickness is also a very common thing. I think about half students feel homesick from home. Obviously, I never got that because, like I said, I commute. So that was the reason why I didn't want to do it, because I knew I would get such bad homesick. I would not be able to cope. Honestly, I don't know how people do it. And it is temporary, and it shouldn't be seen as a sign to drop out. Definitely not, because you're gonna regret it. And I don't know how your parents will be like, I'm gonna be here, it's fine. Like, call them and stuff. That is absolutely fine. But honestly, focus on your mental health. I think that I'll sleep when I'm dead mantra is actually not good. So don't do that. Focus on your mental health. It's okay to mix lectures, but if you do have a lab, try and force yourself out of bed and tell your lecturer how you're feeling. They're there to help. Like I said, honestly, like, you need to put yourself first, because you can't focus. Oh my God, you can't focus on your studies if your brain isn't functioning. So, like, I think that's the most important bit. Like, let's focus on your mental health and make sure it's alright. Because, like I said, you can't focus on your studies if mental health is in there. And they're there to help you. Like, they're not going to want you to, like, die or anything. So, like, just talk to them. I think that's definitely something I wish I do, because I was generally so drained by the end of the first year because I was trying so hard and everything. I didn't talk to anyone. But when I started talking to them, they actually did offer some really good help. I think that also refers to, like, a social battery burnout, because the first 2 weeks you'll feel pressured to basically go out 24/7. And that's also another way your money can go down, because pubs ain't cheap. And you'll meet so many people, like 500 people whose names, and then you won't remember them. Like, you will have so many friends and freshers and something, and then you probably won't talk to them at all. Like, they won't be your friends. Sometimes they do, sometimes you do. And I think you need to know the limit. Like, staying in with flatmates and doing a puzzle, watching a movie, doesn't mean you're failing at socializing. Just means you're prioritising things. You don't need to be out 24/7 to steal your socially. You don't need to show that that's how to have fun. No, that's not how it works. You just need to show that it's okay to do socialise in a different way sometimes. And you don't need to be meeting 500 people every night. It's okay just to meet 6. Like, charge your social battery, because sometimes when you're moving to a new place or starting something new, it can be a lot on your brain. So take it one step at a time. Don't jump right in. That is definitely something. And also make sure, like I said, you're there for studies. Like, don't stay out every night, because then that's going to suffer. And yeah, you might be a social butterfly, have so many friends, but then if you're fouling, that's not going to really help it, is it? Okay, there's also something you need to take advantage of. This is the last one. There is a student discount. People don't know this. This refers to cinemas. There are some shops that do it. I know my Costa, across the road from my uni, gives half price to my uni. There's also stuff like you get free pizza sometimes. Spotify. Like, if there's a student code, use it. You're a student. You're not going to have that much money. Like I mentioned, use the code. If you go, oh, I've got money, I don't need to do it. Oh, I can't be asked to get the code. Ask for the code, get the code, use it. Because then, by the end of first year, you're actually going to have a lot more in your savings. Genuinely, use the code. Okay, hopefully these tips have helped you. I really wish I knew these tips first year, because that probably would have saved me a lot of hassle. But hopefully this helped you. Like I said, comment down below if you want my sister and me to do a different version. And I will see you guys very soon. Bye bye for now.